Okay, Coach, coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Set, go 20! Check.
Now a handoff looking right. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. First down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Ready! Yellow 80! Yellow 80! You!
Play action. Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Set the tone, defense, let's go! Easy!
From the 50, it's Stafford. Complete to Kelly. They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's 4th down. So first possession, 4th and short. Field goal's no gimme from here. What do you think about going for it?
I'm not just thinking about it. I'm signaling, go for it. Let's get this, all right? Yeah, look, you're right. You know, the field goal's there, but it's not a chip shot. My big thing is opening drive. You're trying to establish momentum. Let's not stall it ourselves. Let's go get this first down, and then continue on downfield and try and get a touchdown.
Like your confidence.
Yeah, why not? Let's go.
So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 22. The former Gamecock here. This is Mike Davis. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. They'll run with Davis. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 16 yards, a first down. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's Trubisky to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Devon Kennard. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now Trubisky gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10 now.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
The catch made by Miller. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 32-yard line.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone?
At the Lions' 33-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Check pass. Check pass. Under 10. 18. 18. 10. Check 15. Check 15. 6. Pull it high. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave them with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. From the shotgun is Trubisky. And he is going to wind up losing yardage here, as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will tie us at 3-3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team...
Touchdown, Detroit! Marvin Jones, 78 yards. And the Lions have taken the lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Devon Kennard able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
It's second down.
Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. They'll toss to Davis. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally, because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed, it was negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. And a big 32-yard play on third.
Get up! 180! Watch the run, ran, check.
First down, a run with Cohen. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be second and 11. From midfield now, here's Trubisky. That's complete to Robinson. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. And now with a play clock winding down, a whistle and possibly a false start. Now after the false start, they need 8 yards here on 3rd down.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D. Watch twist. Check 4.
From the gun, it's Trubisky. Gonna let one fly for Robinson. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, See if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
At the 21-yard line.
2nd and 9 now from the 21.
I'm coming.
Here's Stafford. He completes it to Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 16 yards, a first down.
16 yards. That's good for a Lions first down. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Double tight, guys, double tight.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Check, 180. Check, 45. Hey, here we go. Watch the stay 50. Hey, high 7. Here we go, D.
On 2nd and 11 now. Stafford. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Our score 10-3 with 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. Well, if you're going to pass on 3rd and 1, you better get a first down if you complete it. They completed it, but no gain.
The aiming point has to be beyond the first down marker where you throw the ball. 3rd and 1, you can't have anything that's even close to the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you run the risk of what we just saw there, not getting the first down.
Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
To throw again on 2nd down, Trubisky. And now he'll let this one go deep, back over the middle. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
And he completes it to Cohen. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Agnew now to return. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Lions will take over. A first update now from Cleveland, and it's the Browns out to the early advantage. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the pass. Guys, low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. Stafford going to come up 1st and 10, and he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. From the 50, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now it's Stafford. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. It's caught. Jones. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Stafford now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
22.
From the red zone now, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. He hit his first, this one from 40 yards out. And the 13-year man puts it through. So we've reached halftime here in Detroit with the Lions out on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Trubisky gives to Cohen. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Trubisky now to throw on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devon Kennard able to record his 5th sack of the season. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. On the return, here's Agnew. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A great return there of 22 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
So they go from one 42-yard line to the other as they come up now 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 44-yard line.
Ready? 280. Mike, 45. It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
Results in a 4th down.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He'll return it from the 6. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Check it back, check it back. Check 52. Check 99. Check 99.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down.
It's 3rd down and 13.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing here, Trubisky. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19.
1st down, Chicago.
On 1st down, it's Cohen. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Push him back. Push him back.
Here's Trubisky. That is caught by Cohen. Call it a gain of 3. And it'll be 3rd down.
How about that shuffle pass? Or if you want to call it the shovel pass, that's fine too. That's one of those plays that you take a little bit of risk there because you're trying to throw the ball into the middle of the field where a lot of big bodies lurk, and they can knock it away, pick it off, but they were able to execute it successfully on that play.
They go play action with Trubisky. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Devon Kennard in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Taking it about the 16. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And take over. Elsewhere, second half action at Heinz Field. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Now, they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go, G, get up.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
You think you gonna get that? You think you gonna get like 7?
Out of the gun, Stafford. lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is run out on this third quarter of play. Back now at Ford Field, it's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Middle. 58 is the mic. Go 58 is the mic. I'm trying to collect. 58 is the mic.
The shotgun snap for Stafford. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them, because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Here we go. 117.
Now it's Trubisky. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. Trubisky will throw. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Zach Brown making his presence felt in the backfield.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Check 31. Bang, 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 bang.
They'll try and throw for it with Trubisky. And he's going to go down again. Zach Brown. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. Now they try the right side here. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go, D. All day. Defense all day. All day.
Now Stafford. And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Extra point good by Prater. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Now Trubisky. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Ready. Waiting. Hey, watch delay.
After the interception, here's Stanford. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. It was the veteran Prince Amukamara that time who had the play covered from the start. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's the bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Now a handoff here to his running back. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. Touchdown, Detroit! A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Now Prater to add the PAT. And the lead is now 24. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the shotgun is Trubisky. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Zach Brown in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback out of the situation.
But a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Now it's Trubisky. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A good pickup there, 18 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. On 3rd down, Trubisky. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And he'll find a little space. He gets this up near the 10. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The Lions on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Here comes Cohen. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Hey, check. 3 down.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Trubisky. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
The Bears on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. Now Trubisky to throw. And that is incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the fourth quarter here. You've held a team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
Tighten up. Pull it together.
Again, it's Johnson. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Lions, it's a fourth win of the campaign as they get to 4-10 on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town. Meanwhile, for Chicago, their playoff hopes take a hit as they drop to 7-7. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. All combine stats, such as the 40-yard dash, are now available in scouting.